All right, let's get you the details of the Delhi Mantri Satyendra Jain, who has been in the ED custody since the 30th of May, but since then has not spent a single night in jail cell. And that is what is being said by the Enforcement Directorate. To its submission to court, the agency has been telling the High Court that all of the 46 days in custody, Jain has spent nearly just 20 days in the jail dispensary and 26 days at the LNJP hospital. We have Bhavtosh and Neelashish with the details. Bhavtosh, exactly what has happened with the Mantri, because he's been citing that he's been unwell and mostly has been kept in medical custody rather than the ED custody.
Amita, the fact is that he was arrested on 29th May, and since then the Enforcement Directorate took his custody and questioned him in the money laundering case revolving around the shell companies that he set up, and then subsequently through these shell companies he purchased around 230 bighas of land worth at least 21 crore rupees. Once his custody got over, obviously Enforcement Directorate handed him over to the court, and then he was sent to Tihar Jail. Then interesting turn of events happened. He got himself admitted in the jail dispensary, and then jail hospital recommended him to LNJP hospital. Now he is a jail minister, and then from jail hospital he was shifted to LNJP hospital. Now Additional Solicitor General S.V. Raju in an affidavit that was submitted on behalf of the Enforcement Directorate said that since he is a jail minister, his him being lodged into the in jail dispensary is something that is suspicious. And then subsequently, when he was in LNJP hospital, an investigating officer of the Enforcement Directorate went to the LNJP hospital and saw him without an oxygen mask, and his wife was there. They in fact suspected that in LNJP hospital he was being given a VVIP treatment. Now this is something which is very suspicious, and Enforcement Directorate has in fact in its 209-page affidavit had said that his name is there on the website as a health minister, and that he even inaugurated a dispensary in LNJP hospital. Now the Enforcement Directorate has said that his medical examination should be done in a central government hospital, either at All India Institute of Medical Sciences or at RML hospital.
All right, Neelashish, what does it mean when it comes to Satyendra Jain? Because he is said to be a man of influence. He is heading the health ministry, and that has been contended, looking at his image prominently also featuring on the LNJP hospital. So exactly what are the doubts that are being raised?
Well, of course, the Enforcement Directorate, as our colleague Bhavtosh was also telling us, has repeatedly stated in court, be it the special CBI court where Satyendra Jain had applied for bail, or be it now the High Court, they have been saying that LNJP is directly under, Satyendra Jain is in a position where he can directly influence the decisions at LNJP, given the fact that he is the health minister. Also, what the Enforcement Directorate has said is that given the fact that he is contesting that he is unwell, he will remain unwell even if he goes to a central hospital. So why not AIIMS, why not Safdarjung? Let's ensure that there is no suspicion of foul play on part of Jain, and let us take him to a central hospital. Okay. Now, Satyendra Jain has applied for interim bail on the 10th of July in the special CBI court. Now this application continues to be pending, but his application is on the basis of health grounds of not being medically sound at this point.
So he's been saying that he's medically unfit, but in the time it's also hampering with the investigation that is being carried out by the central agencies. Bhavtosh, Neelashish, just stay on with us, because let's get you the Aam Aadmi Party point of view, because they continue to remain tight-lipped on the scathing order of the Delhi High Court, but has slammed the alleged misuse of the agencies. The BJP, meanwhile, has been drawing parallels with Partha Chatterjee, who too was directed by the court to get treated at AIIMS Bhubaneswar instead of the state-run SSKM hospital. Then why exactly Arvind Kejriwal shielding Satyendra Jain? That is one of those questions that is being raised by the BJP.
ये मामला विचाराधीन है, सब जुडिस है. मैं किसी कोर्ट के दिए गए वर्बल ऑब्जर्वेशन पे या रिटर्न ऑर्डर पे कमेंट नहीं करूंगा, लेकिन ये जरूर कहूंगा कि हम केवल न्यायपालिका के सामने न्याय की गुहार कर सकते हैं. और आज जिस प्रकार से देश के अंदर ऑपोजिशन की आवाज़ को दबाया जा रहा है, एजेंसियों का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है, स्टेट इंस्ट्रूमेंटैलिटीज को मिसयूज और अब्यूज किया जा रहा है, ये आज पूरे देश के सामने है।
All right, so that is the Aam Aadmi Party reacting. Let's talk about the BJP because they have been drawing parallels with Tihar Chatterjee, who too was directed by the court to get treated in the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Bhubaneswar instead of the state-run SSKM hospital. Now, the doubts were raised that the netas in particular misuse such sort of a medical treatment in order to shield themselves from the questions being asked by the Enforcement Directorate or the central investigative agencies.
There are many eerie similarities between the case of Bengal's Partha and Delhi's Partha, that means Satyendra Jain. In Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, however, had to sack her Partha, her number 2, after the tons of evidence that emerged. And therefore, the question is that why is Mr. Kejriwal defending his number 2, his Partha, despite court coming out with multiple orders indicting Satyendra Jain. The High Court even went on to say that a health report or a health report card given by LNJP, the state-run hospital, on Mr. Satyendra Jain can't be relied upon because there is no independence of that organization.
Now, during this period of some 40-45 days, it appears he has been saying that he's unwell and seems to have spent all the days either at a dispensary or a hospital, and in effect has never been a single night in jail, as the media reports say. It appears that there is a doubt being raised with regard to the LNJP hospital, which comes under the Delhi government, and the fact that he was associated with it in some way or the other. Now, in a similar case involving the Trinamool Congress leader, Mr. Partha Chatterjee, it finally was decided that another hospital must have it so that independence of the medical report is looked at. The same must be the case that is being looked at here, and that's why the Delhi High Court has passed the order. Now, if a person is unwell, that person will obviously be unwell before every hospital. It's not going to be that he was unwell in one hospital but perfectly okay at another hospital. So if he's seriously unwell, there is no politics in it, no scope of politics, and he must comply.
All right, so Mr. Shashank Shekhar Jha is joining us here on the broadcast along with Mr. Ravi Srivastava. Good morning to both of you. Mr. Jha, first question to you. Those are serious observations that are being made. I mean, he's been in judicial custody for about 46 days, but Satyendra Jain has spent 20 days in jail dispensary. The remaining 26 days at LNJP hospital, not one single day in jail that has been spent by the Mantri.
Namaste. I guess it is really unfortunate that come into this and have asked for some different hospital. We have seen similar thing in Bengal when there was asked to have another state being verified because they had serious doubts on the state's hospital. Now the similar thing is happening in Delhi as well. Now if he is so ill that he cannot stay in judicial custody, he must be immediately sacked from his ministerial post. Even Delhi High Court have asked the Delhi State Minister to sack him from his ministerial post.
But Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister, because the court had said this is something that he needs to decide whether or not Satyendra Jain should be a part of his cabinet or not, because prima facie the allegations against him are serious. Let me also go across to Siddharth for the operative part. What is being said by the ED also saying that why he has not been spending even a single day in jail? What are the grounds for that?
Well, Amita, we've accessed the Delhi High Court interim order that was issued on the 28th of July, which basically directs the lower court hearing Mr. Jain's bail plea to not consider the report submitted by the LNJP hospital for the time being. However, the court has been fair to Mr. Jain. It's allowed him an opportunity to respond to the claims made by the Enforcement Directorate, and the next hearing has been listed for the 17th of August. Now, let's go through the operative portions of the judgment where, or the interim order rather, where the Enforcement Directorate submissions have been summarized. It says it's submitted by the learned ASG, which is the Assistant Solicitor General, that the learned special judge has called for a medical report from LNJP hospital where the respondent is admitted and there is a grave likelihood that the respondent has influence over the said hospital, and having been Minister of Health with the government of NCT Delhi, he further submits that his image is prominently featuring in the web page of the hospital and he was the guest of honor who had inaugurated investigated the dietary department of the hospital. Hence, there will be serious doubts as to the report which will be submitted by the said hospital. Now, coming to what the court specifically said, and these are the operative portions where a notice has been issued to the respondent, who is Mr. Satyendra Jain. It's been listed for the 17th of August, and for reasons stated above, by summarizing the ED's findings, the court directs the learned special judge shall not consider the medical report from the LNJP hospital till the next date of hearing. So therefore, an opportunity has been presented to Mr. Jain to give forth his perspective. For the time being, that report from LNJP has been put on hold.
All right, Siddharth, thanks very much for the update. Mr. Srivastava, it cannot be chit bhi meri, pat bhi meri. Are you looking at the conflict that is happening here? Being the health minister, he is getting treatment from the Delhi government-run LNJP. Being also holding the home department, he is also the jail minister. So a man of high influence. And that is why he has not even spent a single day in jail. Why, sir?
Amita, first of all, it is the patient's prerogative to get the treatment from the hospital of his choice. And I'm not commenting on the judgment of the Honorable Court. That is a directive between a court to a court. That is a higher court to the trial court. So that is a communication between them, where ED's reservations have been verbatim posted. I'm not criticizing that or not commenting on that, but the fact is, it appears to me that Honorable Court is doubting on the ethics and the integrity of the doctors who are treating on Satyendra Jain. I think
not
that is
the doctors, sir. It is on
unfair.
the influence of the Mantri. Because on the influence of the Mantri, the court had also said that it should be now left to Arvind Kejriwal to decide कि कितने ईमानदार हैं उनके मंत्री. Mr. Jha, if you want to put in on that, because the ED has been saying it has serious doubts as to whether LNJP hospital or even GB Pant hospital would be independently able to assess Mr. Jain's medical condition, sir.
Just 10 seconds more. What I am saying is...
Let Mr. Jha give you a counter, sir. I'll come back to you. Let Mr. Jha give you a counter.
Which should be proven. Influence is a subjective word. Which should be proven. And
I'm just talking about what the court has said, sir. Even when it comes to his medical condition, why is the ED raising doubts? Yes, Mr. Jha.
That is ED.
When he's a sitting minister, we cannot expect hospitals which falls under him to work independently. See, we have seen this from history. लाल बहादुर शास्त्री के समय में जब ट्रेन का एक्सीडेंट हुआ था तो उन्होंने इस्तीफा दे दिया था. वहां से वो जो प्रथा शुरू हुई थी, दिस अरविंद केजरीवाल गवर्नमेंट has completely destroyed that. They did not seek the sack the minister, and now since past 46 days, as you are reporting, he has not been under judicial custody. Now, why do someone require judicial custody? That is because for the interrogation purpose. Now, when he is not into judicial custody, there is complete wastage of, the time which he is currently enjoying in hospital. We have seen similar thing in Bihar's Lalu Prasad Yadav's case.
Mr. Srivastava, last point to you, sir. Because LNJP की website खोलेंगे ना, आपको सत्येंद्र जैन की फोटो नजर आएगी, sir.
Because he is a minister, he has inaugurated a department over there, so his photo is there. But what I am telling my friend, that the morality of the ministers has gone considerably down since he was mentioning Shri Lal Bahadur Shastri. You see the ministers in the NDA government, you see the ministers in the UPA government. So please don't comment on that.
We're also seeing the ministers in the TMC government, sir. That the question and the doubt was raised by the court itself. How state-run hospitals are allegedly being misused by the netas when there is any investigative, investigative agencies heat on them. Thank you very much, Mr. Jha, Mr. Srivastava, for joining us here on the broadcast. We'll continue to get more reactions on this big story.